I do a lot of travel around this country. And let me tell you something. Around the world, we need more airports because we need more gates, which means we need more airplanes. When you look at the backlog that Boeing has, it's tremendous. It's going out at least 5 years plus, depending upon the model. And we're coming up to the 2019 Paris show. I think you can expect a lot of orders, and I expect orders are going to top the 2017 Paris show. So I'm bullish on the stock. I believe it can get to $400 in the next year.
Ken, why do you disagree?
Well, I would agree that the near-term correction is a little overdone on some of the issues since the Lion Air tragedy, but I'm taking a more cautious view when I look at emerging market growth, and clearly there seems to be a little risk there. Obviously, the trade and tariff dispute seems to have been much more than head fake like we all expected a few months ago. And I think we risk, I mean, the backlog is there, but I think we risk oversupply. The risk of oversupply is significantly growing, especially as you talk about lower fuel, which of course takes some of the premium away from the newer aircraft.
What about the trade disputes, Ken? Do you think that that's weighing on Boeing and is something that Airbus can capitalize on? I mean, a lot of people talk about the amount China is buying of both companies' planes. Is it easy to substitute between the two for China?
No, it's not easy in the near term, right? Because it's not as if Airbus has available slots, certainly on the narrow body side. And keep in mind, 1 out of every 3 737s today, which is where Boeing generates, about 40 to 45% of its cash are going into China. So it's not easy to swap. Certainly there's things China could do with looking at the A330neo and some other programs longer term if they really wanted to tilt the balance towards Airbus. But no, it's difficult for them to do much in terms of swapping near term.
Scott, how much is the trade war with China a weight on this stock? I mean, if we don't get any sort of resolution anytime soon, can you be a buyer of Boeing?
Well, I think there are a lot of headwinds right now, which you don't like with airlines, certainly. But there are headwinds right now. The U.S. dollar is strong. We have the tariff issues with China. We have trade issues around the world. And there are several other headwinds. And I think those are going to begin to dissipate, and I think they're going to turn into tailwinds. I think that oil prices are going to go higher. I think that we're going to solve the trade issues with China. And I think that the Fed is finally going to say, you know what, maybe we've gone too far, while around the world, maybe we're going to see interest rates rise a little bit, and that'll weaken the U.S. dollar, which is going to help a lot with trade and companies who are going to purchase or lease Boeings.
But why are you so confident that we're going to solve the trade fight with China? By all accounts, it looks pretty complicated, and the two sides appear pretty far apart.
It looks complicated. They appear very far apart, but I think behind the scenes, both the U.S. and China know that they have to have something done, and I think they will get something done. It's a matter of who is willing to give a little bit more, and I think do it in such a way that neither President Trump or the Chinese don't lose face. They both want to come out of this looking like winners. Does it happen by the G20? I'm not sure. Does it happen by the end of the year? Most likely. And I think that the more we don't hear about what's going on in terms of those negotiations, probably the more advanced that they are into those negotiations. And I'm confident that we're going to see something resolved within the next few weeks or months.